Hello, it's Brian from Love Lifeline here. This is just a bit of an introduction video on who I am and what my goals are for this channel. And really, when I use the word channel, the term community is more accurate in what I want to create here. It's not so much me just sitting here talking like many other channels. Even though I think I have a lot to share, I want to interact with everybody, and I want to make a community. I want to invite you to join with me on this journey called life. This channel, if I had to sum it up in one description, would be it's a relationship channel. But even there, I don't believe that's an accurate reflection. There are so-called relationship channels, and I've seen many of them. The vast majority are simply trick channels. How to trick someone into liking you, how to keep somebody liking you, how to get more sex with people, etc., etc., which is the furthest thing from what this is. The absolute furthest that I can think of. I want nothing to do with that. So, in my mind, I spent a lot of time online for the last 20 odd years, and I've never seen anything like what I'm planning to create. And I hope with you I'll be able to do that. Obviously I can't do it by myself. I need a team and eventually become a family. So where did this come from in my mind? I'll explain. A little bit of my background. I'm just an average kind of a person. Lived an average life. I was born in a poor family, farming family. My parents divorced when I was very young. There was not the closest family. There wasn't anything terrible happening, like no crimes or anything. But there was a lack of love around me, I felt, as a child. My childhood was very stressful. I went through a lot of things and moving a lot. Bullying in school. So all the negative experiences I went through, they have still affected me into adulthood. So one of the things with myself is I've always been very curious about human nature, about psychology. Why are people the way they are? Even amongst all the pain that I was going through and the many toxic people and situations I was surrounded by, I still had a burning passion for two things. One is learning more about people, psychology, not from a clinical aspect, but just from understanding how others tick, so to speak, or where their motives are. And the second passion I've always had, as far back as I can tell, is in helping people. This is, and I pretty much never speak about this, but this is something that's just been inside of me. It's not something I do for attention. It's something that I've always done from a very young age. I've felt empathetic towards other people, even people I don't know. If I see someone stuck on the side of the road, my instinct is to help, not look the other way. That's basically something that's in my DNA. It's not something I've learned. It's just been there from day one. In terms of being online, that's something I've been thinking about for many years, but I didn't know how to approach it. I didn't know what subject matter. There's a few interests that I have in life, some hobbies, but those things are very well covered by other people. And it's not, as much as they're interesting things, they're not a life passion. And above all, they don't change people's lives. So the motive for me doing this is to help people and change people's lives, or be a small part in that, in changing people's lives, because I know what it's like to be alone. I know what it's like not to have any friends, or to have people call friends, but have them stab you in the back, or let you down, or only be there for you when you can do something for them. When you ask on the rare occasion you ask for something, then they're nowhere to be found. So I've had no support in my life, so I want this to be a support, not just me talking, not just education, but that's a part of it, learning new skills that a lot of us aren't taught at school, and unfortunately aren't taught if we're brought up in a dysfunctional family or a less than healthy family. Many, many, many skills that I didn't know, and I sought them out. And I've sought them out from experts and from psychologists and counselors, sociologists and others, through books, through online, through television. I've watched thousands of hours, read thousands of pages on psychology and on relationships and on self-improvement in general, on life in general, philosophy. You could put it all under, I guess. Ways of improving your life, basically. So I want to create a place where you can learn, where also you can bring your stories and share with others to inspire them and for them to gain more understanding. And I want to be a place, I want to do a lot of things in the future. Sorry, I'm all new to this, so excuse my lack of professionalism. Yeah, I want this to be a place where people can learn, but also meet people, share ideas, share their stories, improve themselves, and also make friends. Because one of the major problems I've seen in many of the channels that I've been interested in different topics, whether it be sport or others, as much as they love to talk for hours and hours and hours, sometimes it can be entertaining and knowledgeable, there's very, very little interaction. I've noticed many, many channels, not just large ones that have a lot of comments, but very small ones. There's very, very little interaction between the channel person, the creator, and the people that are commenting, the people that are consumers. And that has always, disturbed me. That's something I never want to do. Even if I'm fortunate enough for enough of you to create a large channel, if I'm no longer able to look at all the comments, respond to as many as possible, if hopefully it does grow that large, I will certainly get a team of people that can interact, because that's something that's a definite problem I see in YouTube channels. I don't use the other social media, but I imagine it's the same with them. A lack of interaction with the host, which I think is very poor form, because I see people in terms of sharing their struggles on the more serious channels, and very rarely do I see a comment, maybe 1 in 50 people sharing that they're in very dire situations. And if anything, the only comfort or feedback they get is from other commenters. So that's something I definitely want to steer away from. So if you have any questions about this channel or any topics you'd like me to raise, I've written out some drafts for about 30 different topics that are related to either relationships or self-improvement. When I mean relationships, not only romantic life partner relationships, which is the most important one of all, but I'll be touching on things like friendships, finding good friends, family relationships, how to improve or distance depending on the level of toxic nature, and also workplace, how to deal with things in the workplace. Overall, and this is another thing I've been passionate about, is self-improvement. Early on in my life, I realized there were things that were just not healthy, because I grew up in an environment that wasn't completely healthy, and I didn't have anyone to guide me onto what was healthy. So through researching things, but also within myself, I felt, no, that's not right. I shouldn't be like that, I shouldn't say that, or why am I like this? And I started my own journey on self-improvement. I wanted to be a better person. I wanted to be a better husband, a better father, a better brother, a better friend. And in order to do that, I had to improve who I was. All of us tend to see ourselves as perfect unless we use self-reflection. And that's another skill I've had within me. Not really a skill, it's something that I was born with also, self-reflection. Thinking, why do I do that? Why do I think that way? And I've made a few discoveries along the way, both clinical and otherwise, through the way I was raised, to be a better person, because I don't want to repeat the mistakes of my past ancestors. And I'm not meaning to be critical, because many people, most are not aware how their behavior and their words and their actions affect other people. Most of them are just very ignorant. They're not evil people. Of course, there are evil people in the world, but the vast majority of people are somewhere neutral. They're just not aware of how they behave to others. So self-reflection, self-change is a really big part of this channel. I'm just providing some of the tools from the experts that I've seen. They focus on many different aspects of human behavior, some on the clinical side, others on the more social side, and many other things. And as I touched on before, if I'm lucky enough for enough of you to recommend me to your friends and come along and build this to a certain size, then there's many plans I want to do. I don't want to touch on them now because they're a long way away, possibly a year or more, depending how fast this grows. And as far as interactions, I think live streams are one of the best ways to interact, and I have to be a certain size in order to do that. So I would love to do that, but also I have an email address if you'd want to have a look on the channel. Love Lifeline Contact at gmail.com. Love Lifeline Contact at gmail.com. Anyway, thank you for bearing with me, and I hope to be joining you soon with another video. Again, please give me feedback, things you want addressed, topics you'd like to see addressed, any other advice. Please, not regarding the technical side of things. At the moment, I'm very limited with the gear that I can use in terms of recording and the locations I can use. So technically speaking, I know I need to do better, but there are certain limitations I have at the moment. So please don't be too harsh on me. So also, I want this to be a very positive place. I'll be putting up some, I don't want to use the word conditions, but things that I'll expect from everybody, like behaviors. I want this to be a really positive place. I don't want trolls. I don't want criticism. I don't want arguments. I don't want sarcasm or why do you do this or why do you believe that. I don't want arguments with anybody. There are channels that suit every personality and every intellect. So if I'm not for you, that's okay. No worries. You can find someone else, somewhere else that will suit you. I am just me. I'm not going to behave like someone else or watch some celebrity and say, oh, I better behave like that. I am myself. I hope in the future you'll see a bit more of my personality. At the moment, I may look a little rigid. That's because I'm very new to this. Plus, I have been diagnosed with anxiety. So it's actually taken me a very long time to get to recording this. Anyway, enough about me. Again, I want to hear from you. Give me an email. Give me a comment. I'm not going to keep saying like, share, subscribe like everybody else. Drives me crazy. You know what to do. If you like me, then like me. If not, that's no problem. Go somewhere else. You'll be happy somewhere else. But I believe I'm providing something, a service, a valuable service for free. that you won't find anywhere else. I'm providing help that you won't find from anywhere else. So, good luck in your journey in life, and I hope to see you soon. Goodbye.